texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? Don't let anybody make you think that God chose America as his divine messianic force to be a sort of policeman of the whole world. God has a way of standing before the nations with judgment, and it seems that I can hear God saying to America, you are too arrogant. If you don't change your ways, I will rise up and break the backbone of your power, and I'll place it in the hands of a nation that doesn't even know my name. Be still and know that I'm God.
Welcome again to Street Talk. My name is Ahmad Chakaraki, and on Street Talk, what we do, we talk about things happening here in Michigan, the U.S., and abroad. Political, social, and economics. Here. Now, today we got
Charles Thomas,
and we got
Mr.
Maynard with us today. First of all, let's talk about Malcolm Day coming up, June 10th.
Yeah, we are celebrating Malcolm X Day over at Shabazz Academy. June the 10th day of that month.
Okay.
We're going to have vendors. We're going to have barbecuing and things of that nature, and speakers.
Okay.
And it's going to be an annual event.
Okay.
And we are inviting the public out. It's free to the public. We're just trying to get together with the community and do a few things to raise the awareness. And since Malcolm was not just from Lansing, but he was a global leader, you know, for the world. He's an ambassador for the black, representative for the black community. And at least we can do is to respect him as a community for what he's done for us as a people.
Yeah, it's it always just somehow gives me a I don't know what kind of feeling when I think about Malcolm come to Lansing at 14 months old and grew up here, left when he was 15 and a half years old, and the people in Lansing, and I hate to go back, but Malcolm said this when he last time he was in Lansing. He said that Lansing people were the most kneel down, backward people, and you know, of course, he's speaking about us black people, you know. And that was 1963, and still, we got people out here today just won't get out, won't do anything, won't say anything, just kneel down.
Yeah, and we have to deal with that issue too, because I think that we don't realize how badly we were damaged by slavery.
Okay.
And because of his name, Malcolm X, and then you got the Christian community in our community, they don't want to associate because they think that Malcolm was pro-Islamic.
Yeah.
But he was for everybody.
Right, yeah.
He was for the white man, the black man, the Asian, and everybody. But because of his name, Christians want to be separated. They don't want to be associated with the Muslim, and that's the type of thing that's keeping us separated as a people and a community.
That's one of the things, man. That if you look at all the other people, man, all the other different nationalities of people. And, you know, maybe I study blacks more than I do any, and I do study blacks more than I do any the rest of them, but that's why we hung up, we hung up in this religious thing, you
Yeah.
know, and you know, we watch all these other different groups, but we got ministers here in Lansing. These ministers won't talk to this minister. These ministers here won't speak to these ministers. These people here won't go to this church. I mean, how are you supposed to be, you know, I mean, how are you going to survive like that?
Right. You're not going to survive like that. You know, we always talk about the crab in the barrel, with
Yep.
pulling the crabs pulling it down, but nobody talks about who created that barrel or that bucket that the crabs is in. And to me, religion has created that bucket, and it created the poverty, and for us to think that somebody else is going to solve our problems as a people.
Yeah.
But we got to get to the nitty gritty and solve our own problem. And black people didn't put all these young African Americans in prison.
Right.
And black people didn't cause slavery.
No.
I mean, we just got to wake up. If something's going to be done, you got to do it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what the churches are not teaching. The churches are teaching us to rely on somebody else to resolve your issues.
Yeah.
But we got to talk. We got to sit down and talk as a people,
Right.
as a community, to say, look, I'm hurting here. This is what we need to do.
Yeah.
We got to set up a program for the young men getting out of
Yep.
incarceration, and you know we got to deal with this institutionalization of our minds. Even though we don't have chains on our shackles, we still got chains on our mind because
Yeah.
Frederick Douglass said years ago, E.B. Du Bois said years ago, and we talking the same old rhetoric
Yeah.
today, and
Yeah.
we still haven't done
No.
nothing.
No.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's, I mean, you got eyes and you can't see.
Right.
You got a mouth and you can't speak.
No.
So you ain't hearing nothing.
No. No.
Because you ain't doing nothing.
No.
Yeah.
You know. Must have had it.
Who created the bucket?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I can say something here that you say the church, religion.
Mm-hmm.
Now religion didn't do it. And I tell you where. And I'm working with you on this. But it's the small-mindedness of the people in charge
Yeah.
of the different religious organizations that I cannot see you look as though you're doing better than me. I have to compete with you.
Yeah.
Right.
And this constant competing against each other, rather than trying to
Work together.
reach out and go in the same direction.
Yeah.
For example, if you're a Baptist, you can say you're going to heaven. A Pentecostal, whatever you are, they all say they're going to heaven. Now I've heard it said, I've never told to me directly, well, we might be going different direction, but we're going to end up the same place. Not true.
No.
Because if you hit 96 East and I hit 96 West,
You never
we're
meet.
not going to end up the same place.
No.
You know?
No.
Yeah.
So until the churches could really sit down and learn what the scriptures does teach
Mm-hmm.
and begin to apply it across the board,
Right.
then we will see a difference.
Right.
Without it, everybody, it's too many of us for I for me.
Right.
Yeah.
A guy met me one day, say, oh, I'm a reverend now. Now, in first place, I don't call anybody reverend. The only time in the Bible you see in reverend attached to anybody is to God. And it's once you find it. So I don't call anybody reverend. You're a pastor, you're a bishop, fine, I could say that. But what makes him a, quote, reverend? What's his background to get him to that point to say, I am?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Anybody now decides to call himself a minister of the gospel could do that.
Yeah.
And if you listen, they're just running all over the place.
Yeah.
They're not even coherent in when they're talking.
Yeah. And even though they say they are pastor or bishop or whatever they say, they still in the same struggle that I'm in. So don't elevate yourself above me, because we don't know it. If you ain't practicing heaven here on earth, you ain't gonna practice it up there.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
It starts here.
Yeah, and as far as the
Even though we have offices,
Right.
You have the pastor, the deacon, and so on. That's biblical.
yeah,
But if I come to the point where when you come into church, you have to bow to me,
yeah,
then that's gone overboard.
right,
I am now taking worship unto myself.
right,
I mean, I'm pretending to be God.
right,
And
yeah,
I've seen it.
yeah.
I know. I've
And it's
seen
a-
it happen in
yeah.
the church here.
Right, and as far as those crabs, if the crabs wasn't in that bucket, in that close quarters,
Yeah.
They wouldn't be attacking one
Right.
another.
Yeah. Yep.
But put them in their natural environment, they separate themselves.
Yeah. Yep.
And they get
And, you know,
big.
using the analogy of the crabs, if these crabs were thinking crabs, they were still, even in close quarters, they wouldn't be fighting.
Right.
They
Correct.
wouldn't be trying
Yeah.
to climb over each other.
Yeah, or they would help each other.
Cooperate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at the ants, you put something. One of the things we used to do, you didn't have refrigerators and things back
Right,
in the
right.
old
Right,
days.
right.
You put some water in a dish and you put something and then you rest the food on top of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do the ants do? They form a bridge. They link
Right.
themselves across the bridge
Right.
on each other
Yeah.
to get to that.
To the,
Yeah.
yeah,
They
source.
would find a way.
Yeah.
Man, phew, nope.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
And bees are the same way,
Yeah.
Yeah, just look at nature.
Yeah.
That's a solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got, we talk about this, but it's like it's maybe somebody will get a hold of it. We can't keep on going like the way we going.
No, because we're going around in a circle.
Yeah.
I was studying scriptures once, and I ran across Enoch.
Uh-huh.
And it says in Genesis he was Ethiopian, and he was the father of Noah.
Brother.
But they won't even teach that.
When you go Bible, you're going to Africa.
Yeah,
That's the beginning.
yeah, spirituality.
That's where creation.
Yeah,
We talk about man's creation. It's right there in Africa.
right. Yeah, yeah.
The center of civilization in Africa.
Africa. Yeah,
Yeah.
And all the other things we talk about.
yeah,
Without Africa, you don't have. I raised the question one time to an African. Why do they call Africa the dark continent? Is it because of the color of the skin? Or what? I know that wasn't it.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, typically you think of the Africans as so backward.
Oh yeah, yeah,
No, not
yeah,
backward.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
And even today, you see Africans come out to study and whatnot, and these guys excel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
You see, but if you think of it, go back, and Dennis would have loved to be here on this.
Right, right.
Would give you a whole history where the universities and all that.
Mhm.
It's back there it started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And gradually, they taught others.
Mm-hmm.
And now we come to make it our own,
Mm-hmm.
quotes,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those of us who were taught by Africans now despise the same black man
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
and act as if all this knowledge came from him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we know the difference.
Oh yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And that's what
So
the Bible
we gotta
means.
change that.
Yeah, the light came out of darkness, out of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
That truth
Mm-hmm.
and understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were a spiritual people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
And-
still are.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of other nations have to practice what God gave us
Mm-hmm.
in creation. It's in our DNA, spirituality.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But when we start practicing another man's religion, then it's like kryptonite.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't know yourself, then anybody can rope-a-dope you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've been rope-a-dope.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely,
Yeah.
man. And the thing about it, it's something that we look around and it's just there. I mean, it's just something that we are so we're so tied up in it that we, you know,
Hmm.
this is the only thing we know.
Right, right. You were indoctrinated
Yeah.
in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all you know.
You were saying, Pat.
No, I'm agreeing with you there. You know,
Yeah.
we got to face fact that when the Africans were brought out here, they for a long time kept their
Right.
religion
Mhm.
Right.
and they practiced their religion.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, they were pulled away from it
Yep. Mm-hmm.
into something else.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong, I totally embrace Christianity. But Christianity in its purest form would not bring division.
Right.
And what was brought a lot of division.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And slavery.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They used. I watched that movie, The Birth of a Nation,
Mm-hmm.
and they taught Nate Turner how to read, but he could only read certain things in the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
and then he was only taught to teach the slaves certain things like worship your master and do this
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And then when he seen the brutality of the residuals of what he was teaching the slaves to submit to their master, it overwhelmed him because the brother seen the damage that he was doing
Yeah. Yeah.
to his people.
Yeah.
And that's why he
The
snapped.
problem there, you know, even though what he was saying was biblical, the misinterpretation
Took it out of context.
and the misuse of it is what caused the problem.
Right, right. Yeah, it was the truth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's wrong right now. You know, we got so many people with some of this, and some of this until we all don't have anything.
Yeah, yeah. And another thing too I want to ask you, Pageant, is like when God gives a message to a messenger or a prophet, and he tells that prophet to take it to a certain group of people, and that's what he does. If they don't understand the message that that prophet was giving them, nobody on the outside can interpret that but that people that it was intended to go to.
As a matter of fact, God's messages to people, specific messages, were always so clear
Yeah,
that they knew what he was talking about.
yeah,
A quick example, Nineveh. Jonah, go down to Nineveh and tell these people they got to repent.
yeah.
Oh no, hey, you're gonna give them a break. You don't tell them they're gonna be this. No. Jonah decided to take a ship, go the opposite direction. Now, and God has a way of rounding us up.
Right.
He got Nineveh right back. Got Jonah right back to Nineveh.
Yeah.
All right, and he preached the message God gave him. The people repented, and of course, Jonah, he wasn't too thrilled at first. See, I know you're gonna do that, but that's what God is about.
Right.
He's forgiving.
Yeah.
And if God wanted to destroy them without giving them an opportunity to repent, then we question God.
Right.
So, any which way you turn, man, somebody gonna have something.
Yeah, yeah. So the most significant or the most important thing that you should get from the Word of God is obedience.
Mm-hmm.
Obedience is a key.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna only learn to do that when you come up love. You
Yeah.
have to love the God.
Right.
God is love. We got to love God. And when we can love God, then we learn to love our fellow men.
Mm-hmm.
It's because it's man to God,
Right.
man to man.
Yeah.
And then this man now back to God.
Yeah. And
so you
family.
get that.
Yeah.
And once we got that, we're going to be in harmony.
Right.
But if Charles wants, and this reminds me of Lucifer, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go above God. I can put my throne up there. I got to go above. And then Ahmad come and he say, well, Charles, boy, you think you're going up there? I got to beat you to it. I going ahead of you. So no matter where you go. And now what we got? A
Competition,
strife.
yeah.
We're fighting for position.
Right.
Mhm.
Cain and
And you've
Abel.
seen in churches where big fights over position.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And phew,
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not,
It get ugly.
it is destroying the spirituality of the church.
Mhm.
And no wonder so many of our churches and our Christian brethren are so much more materialistic
Yeah.
than spiritual.
Right, right. And I'm glad you said that, because most of these churches are talking about physical things, not spiritual
Right.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I read, there's only two different scenarios, and Dennis wouldn't agree with this, but you know, we were first spiritual person. I remember him saying, "Who told you was naked?" You know, you was a spiritual person. Somebody told you you're naked, and you tried to cover up. You know, but after he came up with this physical side, that's when Cain and Abel got to arguing, because one thought his gift, his sacrifice, was better than the other. And that's what you see in the black community.
You see the thing there, go back to your word, obedience.
Yeah,
Two of you have a choice. God says, do this.
yeah,
This is what I want you to bring, a lamb.
yeah,
Cain, look, I'm a farmer. I'm going to bring my food out the ground.
right.
Ahmad is Cain, you're Abel,
Abel.
and you went and you got your lamb.
Yeah,
God accepted your sacrifice.
yeah,
He didn't accept Ahmad's.
right,
And not because the fruit wasn't good, but that's not what God asked.
right.
for.
Disobedience.
So if I tell you, hey, and Jesus did it nicely. He said, which one of you, if your son asks you for a fish, you're going to give him a serpent.
Right.
Or if he asks you for bread, you give him a stone.
Yeah,
So if we humans know how to do and give good gifts to our kids, what about God? God
Right.
knows.
Right.
He made us.
Right.
He knows everything we need.
yeah. Before you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to believe that. And most people don't. They say they believe,
Yeah.
but they don't act like they believe.
You're right.
Yeah, and that's one of the things and one of the places we are at now. But before we get through with this, we gotta talk about your boy Trump. Now, today is Monday, the 13th. Today's the 13th,
Yeah.
and so they supposed to find out what he said was true or untrue.
Produce something.
Yeah, today. So.
It's pretty late in the day, man.
So what about it, Badgett? What about it?
For one, you have Congress is asking for some information. Okay, you're claiming this. We want some evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And don't ask me to find out, investigate something, and you're not giving me anything to start.
Right,
You know.
right.
You said this happened.
Yeah.
What is your evidence for that?
Mm-hmm.
Then when we have this, I would know what channels to go to
Mhm.
to begin to question
Yeah.
Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Mm-hmm.
But up to this afternoon, when I left home, nothing came in
Mm-mm.
yet.
No.
Are they going to do it? We don't know. As a matter of fact, the press secretary, White House press secretary, was grilled on that this afternoon, and he's running all over the place. He can't even give a straight answer.
No.
You know,
No.
and we are left to see what's going to happen, because I said it. Trump, if you cannot produce evidence, I say Obama should sue him, not because he wants money from him,
Yeah,
but on the principle of
His character.
Yeah,
yeah.
principle.
Yeah, he's trying to damage his character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He wasn't a terrible president. Obama, he was for the people. He
Yeah.
did, you know,
Yep.
and you don't do that anyways as a
No.
incoming president
No.
to put down another president
No.
so soon.
No. And long as I've been keeping up with this kind of stuff, and that's probably been almost 50 years, is that I haven't heard one president say bad things about another one.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and we've had some bad ones.
yeah.
But,
I remember Nixon got pardoned.
Yeah.
by Ford.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
You know, the slate was wiped clean.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, you know.
You don't have
and everybody knew his hands was dirty.
Right.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, and but number one is that Trump is a hater, he's a hater. You know, he hates Obama. You know,
Yeah.
because of all these things. You know, and Obama was black. All these other things. You know, so he just gonna get up one morning and say, "Oh, he bugged my place," and it's like nobody else know it but him.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
the amazing thing is, this was supposedly going on all through the campaign. Why didn't you come out with that before? You wait till now you are already in the White House, you're the president, to now accuse him of that. And the thing behind it is, I don't think Trump expected anybody to refute it. You see, he just has this in him that whatever I say, you accept. And it's not working.
But see,
Right.
but see, the thing with him is that he wants somehow, along with millions or more people out here, he wants somehow to get Obama down. It's like, because Obama, and it'll be a few years before a lot of people finally put it together and everything. But Obama, one of the greatest presidents ever. He knew more than any president since I've been keeping up with him.
Yeah, he was intelligent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And he knew what he was. Whenever he was talking about, he knew what he was talking about. And
he's done his homework.
That's it.
Yeah, and Donald Trump just shoots off at the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
And then they got to do a crowd control.
Yeah.
To clean up what he said.
Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't say it. He doesn't say it something today. Watch.
Yeah.
And
It'll blurt out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tonight they'll be trying to, all those people trying to.
Well, he meant this.
Yeah.
Well, even with this, when you talk about Obama, wiretapped.
Yeah.
Now the argument, when he said wiretap, he meant all kinds of surveillance.
Yeah.
See, he had it in quotes.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Right.
Okay, now press. Explain some of that.
Yeah.
In fact, some guy was on yesterday evening. They had this guy on, had another guy on, some Republican something, and he was talking about he was talking about. It's like, man, we know what he was talking about.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And today they won't be done come with anything.
Right.
Matter of fact, especially when you're in such positions.
Right.
You better be very clear
On what you say.
Right, yeah.
And if you're gonna say he wiretapped my phone,
Yeah.
don't tell
That's
me
a criminal
all
offense.
kind of other surveillance.
Yeah.
You said
Wiretap.
Yeah.
big and broad. So
Right. We about out of time, but we want people to know about Malcolm.
June, the 10th day of June,
Okay.
at Shabazz Academy.
Okay.
We're having an affair in honor of Malcolm X.
Okay.
He was a resident of Lansing,
Yeah.
and he was world renowned.
Yeah.
And what he stood for, we still stand for it
Right.
today.
Yeah.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to?
Don't let anybody make you think that God chose America as his divine messianic force to be a sort of policeman of the whole world. God has a way of standing before the nations with judgment, and it seems that I can hear God saying to America, you are too arrogant. If you don't change your ways, I will rise up and break the backbone of your power, and I'll place it in the hands of a nation that doesn't even know my name. Be still and know that I'm God.